it feels kind of like this career that seems maybe really fun and flexible. If you're thinking about getting into real estate, probably the first thing you need to do is have a conversation with someone who is in it and is successful in it to understand what that really looks like before jumping in. And welcome back to the Hamiltons Unlocked. Today I have Scott Hamilton with us.
Did you have someone different last week?
No, just you.
Yeah.
But it felt more special to say hello to you today.
Yeah, hello. Also, shout out sponsor Vineyard Vines.
Right.
They don't actually sponsor us, but I'm hoping maybe they will because I wear their shirts all the time.
Well, we are getting to a point where we have run out of outfits to wear different things. And so those Vineyard Vine shirts in various colors are getting recycled.
Recycled.
That's right. With just different pants. I think it's great.
Thanks.
It's a new outfit.
Thanks.
And I think you look lovely.
Yeah, I think you look lovely.
Well, thanks, honey. So today we're going to talk about a topic that this is a question that we get asked often. And it is, hey, I'm interested in real estate. How do I get into it?
Yeah. I feel like you've had that question come up quite often with like the high school kids.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like my oldest daughter graduated this year, and I guess you can do internships and things. And we've had high schoolers reach out and want to interview us on how do we get into real estate and do that.
Yeah. And I've had friends throughout the years, clients. I've had a number of clients actually become agents.
Yeah.
People I used to work with become agents. So a lot of people have done it. And then teachers make
really good
great
agents.
Real estate agents. I think the thing here is that it feels kind of like this career that seems maybe really fun and flexible, and you get to look at houses all day. And so I think it's really important that if you're thinking about getting into real estate, probably the first thing you need to do is have a conversation with someone who is in it and is successful in it to understand what that really looks like before jumping in.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. So you're wanting to get your license. You've called us up. You said, hey, how do I get my license? How do I get into this? What do I do?
Yeah.
What's the first step that someone does if they want to become a real estate agent?
Yeah. So if you're really serious about becoming a real estate agent, you have to get your real estate license. So it's a pre-licensing course. They offer them online. They offer in person. They offer 2-week sessions or night sessions. There's all sorts of options to get your real estate license. If you are truly interested, reach out. We've got resources that we can send you.
Our brokerage even has an in-person class that
they do. And you actually go through the classes. I think it's 60 hours. Then from there, you actually take the test for the class. Once you pass the test for the class, you get to move on to the state exam. And it's hilarious because back in like 2021, you could not find a place to get your real estate license because they were so crowded, and all the testing facilities were after COVID, because so many people were getting licensed. When I was getting licensed in 2011, there were like 3 people in my class and 2 had already taken it, type of a thing. So less of a demand to get in. But you take your state exam, you sit for your state exam, and it's a pass fail. I think it's still a pass fail. It's still pass fail. So it doesn't really matter what you score. It's a pass fail. And the exam takes a couple of hours to take. It costs money. So did the pre-licensing course, but you're talking in the hundreds of dollars. You don't even reach $1,000 before, once you've gotten this
again,
threshold.
A very low barrier into this business.
Yep. And then once you've passed the state exam, you actually then have to choose a brokerage in which to hang your license. You can't go out on your own, and there are many different brokerages to choose from.
Yeah. So how do we choose a brokerage? I think that's when I got in the business, I was with we don't have to talk about the different brokerages that are out there, but there are a lot of different models. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you're an agent. You got to go hang your license at some brokerage. So interview brokerages, interview different agents that are successful, and find out what is the best fit for you in the community that you're in. Is there a boutique brokerage that, does a lot of business and has a really good name?
Yeah.
But try to find somewhere that is a right fit for you. Do you work on a team? Do you go as a solo agent? When I started, I just said, hey, I'm going to be an agent, and I didn't know any better. And so I just became an individual agent and thought, hey, I'm ready to sell now. I got my license. I put it with the brokerage, and I started to just try to do things on my own.
Right.
You did the same thing, but then quickly got onto a large team. And I think there's there are benefits,
Mm-hmm.
pros and cons to both strategies. What would you say to somebody who's
Mm-hmm.
thinking, "Hey, I want to sell real estate because I know how I have my opinion now."
Mm-hmm.
If you're new, what's the best path for you?
Yeah. So I definitely think once you've chosen, I think choosing your brokerage is really, really important. They all cost different amounts of money. They offer different things. And what's kind of the opposite. So when I got my license and I went to interview brokerages, I thought they were interviewing me. Right. I thought, turns out that's not really how it is. You're interviewing them. You're deciding which brokerage is right for you.
Right.
And talking to different ones is very important. And different brokerages are known for different things. Some have very experienced agents. Some are known to be training companies. Some are what we call like a discount brokerage, where literally it's just a place for you to have a license, and you're not paying them much, but they're not giving you any support or assistance either. And
Yeah.
so they're not all made equal. And then I would say once you've chosen a brokerage, whether or not you choose to join a team or sell real estate on your own, I think that really you have to look to see what sort of agent you want to be. If this is a full-time thing for you and you are replacing an income, it is not easy to get started in this business.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think people assume that, you sign up for so and so brokerage and then they hand you leads and you go out and sell real estate just like, oh, I got a job with so and so. Well, here's the work. Go do it.
Right.
It is not like that at all. In fact, you kind of, you sign on and you sit down and you're like, I don't really know what do I do now? And
Yeah.
it's like your job is to go get leads.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you need to learn how to actually sell real estate.
Right.
And so a team can provide leads for you if that's not something built in. Because I also think a lot of people assume that just because you have your real estate license doesn't mean that your friends or your family or
Yeah.
your neighbor or anyone else is going to actually use you. You have to earn the right to earn their business. So a team can be beneficial in the sense that it will provide you the opportunity to work with a lot of people with leads, and there's a built-in coaching, mentorship type program there. If you're on your own, create that for yourself,
Yeah.
right? Be able to get enough leads, but also have someone who can help you through those first few
Yeah.
transactions.
Yeah. So, and we've had her on the show. Melba Franklin was
Mhm.
my first broker.
Right.
And that is not, I would say that is not typical of most brokerages out there, that you have somebody of her caliber that's willing to bring you in and train you and have classes in the office almost on a daily basis.
Right.
And then help you, almost mentor you as you're walking through your first deals to know what to say and how to handle situations.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're going to be on your own and do something, yeah, I think most people are pretty entrepreneurial that get in this business and they
Mhm.
want to just go sell and make money themselves.
Right.
And they fail to see all the steps that you need to do to become very successful, because I think statistically 90% of agents are out of this business within 5 years.
Yeah.
So the
It's
failure rate is very, very high.
right.
And you've only got a small percentage of the people that do the business.
Yeah.
1 or 2 transactions a year that's not enough to sustain you.
Right. It's certainly not enough to make it a full-time job.
Yeah.
And
or,
so
or a
if
business.
and if you, right, it's a hobby,
It's a
right?
hobby.
It's something that you do on the side and you make a little cash,
Yeah.
and that's great. But also, if you're a consumer, do you want someone who like sells real estate for fun on the side to be your agent? I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you should be aware that that is what you're getting.
Right.
So I do think that's important. What is a mistake that you think you made when you started off that you regret or that you would have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I think I really do think, and at the time I was young, much younger. I didn't have a family, so I could have taken a lot more risks, and that's why I did do it and did it on my own. And I thought, I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. But I do think, had I known differently, I would have joined a team that was very successful, that I could come plug in and learn their systems and processes of how they do it, so that I could eventually, 2 to 3 years later, as I worked under them and learned from people that were doing it at a high level,
Yep.
is what happened later on in my career.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd have started that when I was, 27, 28, when I got in the business, it would have helped, I think, propel me a lot further.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that, and then also the other piece to it is, we talked about this the other day. Anyone getting into this business now, I think you have to consider that you are a business and you're a brand.
Right.
And so I would have set, instead of just having your email at thebrokerage.com or say, walking around and always promoting your brokerage. No, promote your brand. What's your brand? We're the Hamilton Home Group.
Right.
And we try to promote that as much as possible under
Yep.
the umbrella of our
Our
our brokerage
brokerage.
that we're with.
Yeah.
But become a brand in your market.
Yeah. And our brokerage allows that. Some
Right.
don't.
And some don't. That's true.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you, Jenny? What would you do?
Yeah, I think for me, I was so concerned with trying to know everything before I did anything that I wanted it to be perfect, and I was paralyzing myself. And I actually remember being at like a an event maybe a month or two into getting my license, and I saw my team leader is what they call at Keller Williams where I joined, and his name was Brad, and he was like, Jenny, how we doing? And I was like, oh, I don't have any clients yet. And he's like, well, what are you doing? Your job's go out and get clients.
Why
So
are
I'm
you
like,
in the office?
right. And I'm like, well, I've been practicing writing contracts, and and he said, Jenny, I don't think
Practicing writing contracts.
I was.
Wow.
But he said, you're scared to actually get a client. You're scared that someone's going to say, yes, I want to use you. And he was right, because I didn't want to mess up. And you can't learn by practicing in this business. You have to learn by doing, you have to learn by shadowing. And I was in it for about a year before I did join that team. And then my whole world exploded of opportunities I had to see and learn from. And it was really the absolute best thing I ever did. So
Yep.
the worst thing was trying to be perfect before I actually went out and tried to sell anything, because it's never going to be perfect. But then the exposure to the multiple transactions and teams and all that good stuff was really, really great for me, and completely propelled my career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested in getting your real estate license, we have these conversations all the time. We will be completely honest with you about what this business takes, what this business requires, and the rewards that it can bring you to. So if you're interested, shoot us a message, and we will always be happy to have these conversations and help you out however we can.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in this week, and we will see you next week on the Hamiltons Unlocked.
Sounds great.
Because I know I'm a